Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of How to Win a Cash Cup. In this new series, we're going to review a Cash Cup winner and learn from their success. Enjoy. So for the first episode, we'll be taking a look at Esti, who won the EU Cash Cup. And if you look at his game history, it is pretty interesting because it is a little different from what we usually see with Cash Cup winners, where they have an insane pop-off game or something like that. If you see that his first win only had 11 kills, nothing too crazy. It's not like the 20 bomb or something. And after that, it was just really good consistency. Now, let's take a look at his first win. For the early game, ST lands at this FBI base on the northwest side of the map, and his first kill is a very simple one. He just has a beta drop, gets a gun, and his opponent isn't very smart because his opponent should not have landed next to him for some reason. Gets the pistol, and free kill. After he loots up a bit and has a loadout good enough to fight, you can see that he didn't farm up a crazy amount. He only has 800, which is nothing too crazy. Especially, I mean, imagine if you're in a stat game, you definitely loot up more than that. But in this case, he does have the intention to W key, so he just wants to loot up enough to fight. While looking for a fight, he also rotates all the way to Holly, as you can see, to get a parasite. And trust me, he loves these parasites. I watched a couple of his games and he tries to get one almost every game. After he grabs the parasite in Holly, he looks for a fight and he finds one right outside of Holly. So let's take a look at how he handles this fight. He starts off by spraying this floor, just to see what happens. This guy gets into a cow. Doesn't get any damage off, so he doesn't know how much damage this guy has taken in the past. He doesn't know if he's 200 or not. And he gets a little bit over eager here, in my opinion. I think he's a little bit overconfident. Double swings with his pickaxe. It lags there, but what you can see is basically a third party comes in and he gets absolutely beamed. Now this is where a lot of people would panic, but SD has a game plan. And if you think about the video I made not too long ago, how to stay calm under pressure, this is a perfect example of that, where when he gets weak, he just uses all his mats. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to not spend mats and then die with mats left. So he's just going to spend all his mats and just to stay alive. As you can see, all his mats, he's using hards. And what this allows him to do as well is he goes back into the tarp he previously made. So if you spend all your mats like this, try to remember where your tarp is and use the old version of your tarp, because that one is fully built. Alright, so both players have disengaged from the fight, and now he's basically back to point zero. He lost some shields and he lost some mats, but he's alive. While driving to zone, he actually gets shot and he's going to fight this guy. So he starts off by going for some damage. Recognize he's not using too many mats, he's literally single ramping, and the strat with a single ramp also is that if the opponent sees that he's single ramping and starts spraying him, he's going to spray right back at him. Every time he approaches the wall as well, he does it basically from a safe angle. Here it's just the regular right hand peek, and look at how he placed the wall on the left side first. It's very important because that way you kind of block off the angle you're most vulnerable from. Recognize the person dipped. Now again, this is right hand peek, and also from a box away. So now he pressures his opponent, but also reading what he's doing. So he's not just pressuring with AR, he's also watching his opponent. Blocks him with the wall, and now instantly goes for the other wall. But look, he only pickaxes once and then starts watching him again. The number one thing he does is just watch him non-stop. Tries to go for pre-fire, misses, but he at least gets the wall here. He's playing fairly slow. So the reason he's also pretty aggressive there, even though he doesn't have a whole lot of health, is because his mats is really low. So the moment the other guy is also cracked, that's when he gets really aggressive. See how he's constantly watching him? Most of this damage is basically just from him watching him and reacting in time. In this next fight, again, you see that he's mainly focusing on watching his opponent and tracking their movements. See, gets a little shot off. But he's not too worried about high ground. See, he's not cranking. Just getting low ground shots off. Now decides to heal. Now he goes for a nice high wall. And now again, see, he's not trying to do things too fast. Again, watching, wait for an edit. Now once the edit doesn't come, he placed the walls. And low ground shot. He didn't try to take high ground once in this fight. All he did was he just tracked his opponent and made sure he shot at the right moments. Remember the single ramp strat I was talking about earlier? In this fight, you actually see how it works. So he ramps up, single wood ramps. He tries to break him out because he's recognizing, yo, it's just one ramp, what the hell are you doing? And then SD's just like, yeah, I know, but my plan was never to get high ground, my plan was to deal damage. Sadly, he misses everything, but those were 3 or 4 shots completely free. Those could have been headshots, body shots, whatever. Here he approaches the box in an interesting way. I don't know if it's too good, but it's definitely something you can take note of sometimes, where you see that he places a ramp, edits the ramp, now goes down. What this does, it prevents the other guy from coning him. After he gets enough damage off, he finishes this fight kind of nicely. As you can see, just regular top angle, gets the edit, gets the cone, jumps, and gets the kill. Now, let's take a look at how he turns 1 kill into 2 kills. So basically, here's the guy that's spraying up top, recognizes that there's extra loot here, so he just baits the loot. Easiest kill of his life. Once he got deep into zone, he's still looking for fights, but he's doing it fairly carefully. Like, he's trying to recognize what is the freest kill that I can find right now. So he kind of feels out this player, sees what happens. Nothing too crazy, he didn't get cracked or anything like that. But now that he hears people fighting down low, this is his cue. And that was also, again, a very free kill. So after he gets the kill, he decides to push this guy down low anyways. And you see how he does it. So the moment he edits, he's looking for shots right away. Kind of lags a bit. Now the wall is weak, so what does he do? He instantly tries to go for a wall take. Not in a too safe way, but he's just overconfident with his gold spaz, basically. He's just thinking, no matter what happens, my trade is going to be better. If you go for an edit, if I go for an edit, and we both shoot, I'm going to deal more damage. And he's not completely wrong here. What does happen though, after he gets the better trade, he is not full health. So what happens is he actually resets the wall, crouches under his shot, which is kind of a nice crouch. It's not perfect. I think the other guy could have hit him, but the crouch was pretty nice. I mean, look at this. So now, again, what does he do? He tries to find what is the freest kill on the map. And in this case, those guys are fighting, so it looks like third-partying that would be the freest kill. So he pushes that. And I'm not going to bore you guys too much with this fight because it takes forever. Because the other guy that he's fighting here is the other best player on the map. So this Ova guy, he's also got 8 kills. Imagine he hits that shot, this entire fight would not have gone for as long as it did. But the main point I want you to get out of this fight, even though I'm probably not going to show it fully, is that he never goes for a bad angle, and he just basically keeps his distance the entire time. But this guy's just good enough that he never gets a big advantage. As an example, I'll quickly show what I mean. So if you see here, he gets completely piece controlled up. He does have a nice ramp, but the sequence is just very good to look at for a sec. So you can see this guy is not bad. He got some good angles, gets a shot off, even gets a ramp in his box. So SC definitely recognizes well, like, okay, this guy is not terrible. So after zone starts moving and he recognizes that, okay, this fight has taken on forever, I'm kind of low in mats, let's just retreat and go back to my loot pile. As you can see here, it's a nice thing to remember where you have spare loot, and he just goes for it. Now, check this out. Boom. Lovely. Cap mats again, and he can just basically restart whatever he wants to do. The number one way that SD goes for kind of quick surprise shots on his opponents is finding a wall that's one shot and just instantly going for it and editing and shooting. So as you can see here, this guy was shooting, so he just reset this edit, so it's one shot. SD knows this, boom, takes, edits, and now Xerox basically is just completely surprised. And what is he gonna do? Hop around, that's basically it. Hop around like a bunny rabbit. So if you look from his perspective, right, he shoots, resets the edit, before he knows what's going on. Oh shit. Uh-oh, what's happening? Uh-oh, yeah, you're dead. For this next kill, you'll see how good he is at switching his priorities. So he starts off with just fighting this guy. but once he recognizes that this guy is basically an annoying spot, he doesn't want to push that all the way into his other builds, different guy shows up. Well, first he drops a bit, not on purpose. It's the wall, missed the edit, not a big deal. Now some basic box fighting. So from this angle, this is generally a good angle on the right side here. So as you can see as well, he makes sure to have his pump out and he's watching his opponent. It's the same thing as in those fights earlier. He's just constantly aware of what his opponents are doing. Now to finish the fight, he recognizes, okay, this guy reset the edit, this is one shot, let me take it, boom. Now he's hit two short, like 30 shots, right? Remember that he built this wall on his left, so he just goes for it, builds the wall, and 200. Nice. So now let's see, how does he actually win this game? What does he do in this endgame that allows him to dominate the rest? First of all, he prioritizes staying ahead over height at all times. Again, what I said, he's prioritizing staying ahead of zone at all times, and he has 3 launch pads. So what's up next? You guessed it, a low pad. Boom, gets ahead, boxes, doesn't worry about height at all. Just tries to go for shots, that's it. So now again, he's already done it twice, you guessed it, another freaking low pad. Gets ahead. And now he starts to go up a little bit. You can see height is on wood because he's been trying to hold height the entire game. While SD here still has a bunch of mats because all he does is basically just gets ahead and use a pad. He only builds 1 box per zone. So how does he close out the game? He basically just recognizes, okay, there's only 2 people left. They're both fighting on edge of storm. Let me go down. And boom, 1 free kill. 2nd free kill. So how does he win these endgames? Very simple. He stays ahead instead of going for height. And then once he takes height in one of the later zones, that's when he just chills on height, waits, sprays. And when there's 1 or 2 people left, that's when he goes down. The number one thing I want you to take away from this video is to learn to watch your opponents and not just get into a fight like a headless freaking chicken, okay? Like I see you, I've seen people do this. Stop. Just watch your opponents, see what they're doing, and make decisions based off of what they're doing. This way you'll become a much better fighter and you'll take a lot less damage. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, let me know if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.